Good day, my little members. Today I'm gonna show you something different from my other videos because I'm gonna show you how to make your own accessories for your Vroid VTuber model using Fusion 360. With Fusion, you're going to need a couple more programs to have installed. You're going to need Unity with UniVRM, Vroid, VC Face, and possibly also VRM Poser. Now, why Fusion? I hear you asking. Well, one, it has a personal use license, which means it's basically free. Kinda. It's also, for me, the simplest program to use as it uses a grid system where you can easily input dimensions and shape how you want your accessories to look. And also, there's a little surprise at the end of the video. Next, you're gonna need Unity, because Unity has the ability to import your Vroid model and edit it with UniVRM. Download link in the description, of course. Next, you're gonna need Vroid and VC Face, of course, because they are standard for showcasing what you have made. And VRM Poser, this is optional, but it can help you when you have something, for example, a item in your hand that you want to showcase. Step 1, design your accessory. This should be done with accurate measurements, so it's better if you draw it out on a piece of paper, like what I do, where I just roughly sketch it on paper with a pencil, or you can use an app like Photoshop or free Photoshop, also known as GIMP. When designing your accessories, it's better to get inspiration from all over the place. I personally like to use Pinterest and Twitter. But you one place has one style that has really influenced my designs would be these guys from Twitter, particularly G3P Graph. Their their work just has really vibe with my designs. And if you can, please support their work by looking them up, and if you do look them up, tell them KZ sent ya. Step 2. Open Fusion 360 and start designing your accessory. Now, I just want to start off by saying I cannot show you all of Fusion 360's features because of time, but also because I'm still familiarizing myself and mastering Fusion, and I just want to show you how to make the simplest of accessories with the amount of time we have. So I just want to show you the bare basics of what you need to know and how to do it. But I'll be showing you how I've personally been doing this. So first, start a project. When starting off Fusion, you're going to see this workspace and these tools that you can use. We're gonna start off by doing a sketch. For example, you want to create what's a good project? Perhaps you want to create something like a button to add to your character, or a hair clip. You can start off by doing this, which is creating a sketch. Here you get to pick out which ground do you wish to work on. Do you want to work on the face, on the side, or on the flat plane? I prefer using the flat plane just because it makes more sense in my brain. Here you can create the layout. For example, if you've drawn just the flat view of your accessory, you can do that here too. First, we're gonna start off by creating with a line. Here, it's better if you experiment with using all of these tools by yourself, because that's basically what I've done, and now I've more or less familiarized myself with plenty of these tools. So, for example, you can do this. you can see here on the distance that you have on the distance of the project you're making, and also the angle. And you can switch between the angle, which is the degrees, and let's say we want to make it 90 degrees, 90. That will keep it at 90 degrees, while you can also switch out on how long you want it. Then here you input it, making it like 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters. And here, you have a line that's 50 millimeters while also being perfectly straight. Now, why would you... I mean, it's in... When doing this, it's better to use real-world measurements because it helps with the program and helps you estimate on how big or small you want some objects. I'll show you later on why this would matter. You can create things like half moons by doing this, by creating first a line, then creating the circle, center diameter, clicking here, and now once you finish with this, you have the program registers certain shapes when creating a sketch. Now, for example, you're finished with this, and you click Finish Sketch. Once this is done, you just click which side you want to turn into a shape. So you don't necessarily have to use the entire sketch, just use the parts that you actually, well, want to use. And the sketch is just created to help you select certain parts. If we go here to Sketches, click the sketch, Edit Sketch. You can continue to change certain things about what you've created. For example, you want to create another circle within this circle. Go over here and select this. Oh, sorry. Z. Now we finish the sketch. We can create more complex things by removing or adding different shapes. Now once that is done, we go back to 3D view by using this block over here to change our views and pivot around a certain area. Then we click press and pull, or to extrude, which is also this function over here. Then we turn this into a 3D object. How big you want it, we can make it up to 25 millimeters. Then over here, you click OK. And now we have the 3D object. This weird double circle thing. Now, once you've finished this, you can just, once you've finished designing your whole project, all you have to do is go to bodies. Bodies are also the models that exist within the workspace, and some bodies cannot. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I hate myself. Some bodies cannot be... Okay. There are bodies that cannot be shown because it turns out that they have been connected with a certain piece. Like there's a certain connection between them. You can fix it by just Control-Zing or just using this clock over here, this timeline, and show you which part you messed up in. So if you want to reverse, just go back using this thing. It's basically like a Control-Z but with more function to it. Okay, if you're done with your body, you just select the body over here, your accessory I mean. Go to accessories and then click as save as mesh. Here you want to select OBJ, which is already pre-selected for me. OBJ, because this is what we're gonna need when we're going to import into Unity. Unit type as millimeter, centimeter, and so on. Click OK, and it's gonna save, of course. Once you've gotten enough practice, you'll be able to make projects like these. The ones above this red line are the ones I've actually modeled, while the ones here are just the displays. So the first thing I made in Fusion 360 was this very simple geometric looking mask, and I improved after looking at other masks that from G3P Graph and seeing how their masks look so very unique, look very machinery, techware, that kind of thing. I've also developed this horn and some buttons or hair clips that you can use for your models. And these are just the displays that I've made so far. Over here, you can even create some simple parts, such as this box and some french fries, which you'll actually see in a later video of mine. So here, it just takes practice and the know-how to actually use some of these things. And even I don't know how to use most of these, but this is just how you can start out, and seeing on how you can move from this crappy geometric mask to something that looks more advanced, which is this one, can really help inspire or help you just start off with working with these kinds of programs. Next, like as I said earlier, you click what you want to export, turn into an object, click save as mesh, make sure it's an OBJ and make sure it's millimeter, and press OK. This will come up and you just have to save it, and we're gonna move on to Unity now. Now we're here in Unity, you're gonna want to start a project. I chose a 3D core project, named it accessories, and of course just add a location. It's a while, okay. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that for some reason. Next, you're gonna want to add your UniVRM, which I have the download link in the description. Once you've downloaded it, just click UniVRM over here, drop it off. Over here, click import. Accept all. Close. Okay, once that's done, you click this VRM thing that showed up and import your model into Unity. Just select your VRM model and you'll be good. Here, once you have your model imported to Unity, just click and drag it into the hierarchy, and it's gonna show up here. Transformation, position 000. Okay, good. Now that we have my VRM model imported into Unity, now you just have to drag and drop your OBJ file containing the accessory OBJ file, into the project tab. Over here. Next, just We want the scale factor to be 0.001, as when this imports, this is going to be in meters because this automatic converts all measurements into meters instead of millimeters. So we import this into the hierarchy tab, apply, and now it's up to proper scaling. Good. Next, you just have to shift its orientation. Oh, sorry, Control Z. Make this 50 degrees first. There we go. Oh, my bad. 90 degrees. And let's make this 135. Oh, 45. There we go. Now you just want to carefully position this on your character's face, as this is of course a mask. Good. Looking good so far. And that's too close. And now that's a bit too far. Yeah, it's clipping through my collar because I didn't actually take that into account when I designed this. Which is of course just my bad. Okay, once it's more or less in a state that you like, you're gonna go over here to the name of your model. Mine is just hair test 4 because I have several tests with the hair before I got it to start looking like this. Next, you're gonna want to go to roots, hips, spine. Oh, and just to be clear, you don't have to follow these exact steps because depending on which part of the body you want to connect your accessory, it can be the hands, the head, the legs if you want them. So just expand this a bit. Chest, upper chest, neck, then the head. This is where we want it. So now we have it here. We just bring this mask and then drop it on top of the head. There we go. So now that it's here, that means it's connected in the same orientation as the rest of the body. So when you export this, the mask will of course appear to be on the model itself. There we go. So to test this, just select your model, the hair test with teeth. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. As you can see, the mask moved along with it because the mask is now part of the body of this model. Now, of course, you're gonna want to change the color of the mask as it's exported in this color. Go over here, then you click create and you select the material. Here, this is the material which we're going to use. The material is essentially the texture you're going to be applying. I am lazy, so instead of putting this into a good folder to organize everything, I'm just going to leave it as is. But you can do that, of course. So, okay. And apply this model over to the mask itself. And now this mask appears to be white, as this is the texture or the material that's being used. For example, you want to make it look red, you go over here to the albedo, and then you change the color from here. You want to make it more or less metallic, you just shift these figures, of course. And because of I prefer to make my models, my model I present a bit more bloom, like brighter. I prefer to select this albedo alpha, which you'll definitely see has an effect later on in the models I'll be using. I want to make it black, I just select this. Make sure to reduce the smoothness and metallic so it doesn't shine too brightly, which is what I prefer, but you might prefer something different. Next, we select VRM and click, oh wait, sorry. Before you do that, you have to make it face the correct orientation, which is 0. Don't worry about the shadows, that just happens on my model. It may or may not happen to your model either, depending on the orientation of the light. But it doesn't really affect what's going on in your export. It's just for this Unity world. Right, click export. Make sure everything is okay, then you click export. Okay, here as you can see is my changing room. This is where I actually develop my models and how I want to position certain things which I use for videos. For example, this one, wherein I imported the horns into the function, and then I did as I said earlier, which is just I dragged it over here into the hierarchy. Then this one, here we go, here test 4. You click the roots, hips, spine, chest, upper chest, neck, head. And here you're going to see 3 of the models. We have the mask, which I've used earlier as in the video. Next we have the cyber horn, which is what I titled these, and the other one for both sides. Here is a model that you'll see in a future video, wherein I actually I made a bunch of fries, a box of, sorry. Here, oh sorry, this is not going well for me today. I made a box of French fries, and here you can see that where is that? Here go, new potato shirt. You click on a new potato. On the title of the model, I mean, click roots, hips, spine, chest, upper chest. But instead of going into neck, we actually just select the shoulders. This is my left arm, so I click here, left arm, upper arm, lower arm, hand, and here you're going to see the models for the box and the French fries. Here I did the same thing as I did in the earlier in the video, which is I just selected the material, selected albedo alpha, and just made everything 0, so it doesn't bloom as much. And also, when you're making your character, if you want to make your character bloom, you have to make sure to make it darker than you think. Normally I would make it over here, but I decided to put it a bit lower. You will see. Okay, as I was saying, I decided to drop the box and the French fry models into my hand folder, and now it's going to be attached to my hand when I export it. So yeah, that's just about it. Then you export things as usual, and you will see what it looks like in a sec. Now, before I show you what it looks like, I'm going to show you the surprise I said earlier. So here's the thing. Earlier when I was explaining exporting the file, you can not only export it to OBJ, but you can also export it to STL. And with STL files, you can, well, create them. And of course, the first one I decided to make was this. This was the first mask I decided to 3D print, as is the, second mask I decided to 3D print. You can see. Cool, right? All the details are in there, and it's just my problem with printing, which is why I'm not that good at it yet. Which is also why I haven't shown off better videos earlier. I've been so focused on 3D printing, I created all these things. Of course, it's skin colored on the bottom part because the first filament I got was skin colored. Next, we have the first mask I made, which uses zip ties to connect them. And I haven't bothered painting this because it's not really that good looking, I have to admit. Of course, we have the horns next. Of course, paint on the bottom, but painted black. They're straight and they're sturdy, and I have to admit, these things look really cool. Oh, sorry. Oh, crap. Sorry about that. Now, since you've seen this, you probably want to see how it looks like now in my model. So hold on while I just go put them on. Hold on for a sec. Okay, I'm back. Cool, right? You get to actually see my head with the horns attached mostly perfectly, and you get to see the mask and my mouth moving underneath it. Well, now that you've seen my horns, what do you think? You want to pair yourself? Well, if you actually want your own mask, now that you've seen my mask, what do you think? Do you want to get yourself a pair? Do you want a pair of your own horns? Or that one button I made? I've actually set up my own coffee page where you get to tip me if you want, or if you want to buy these masks. And by buy them, I mean pay absolutely nothing because these are free. All you have to do is go to my coffee page, get the files from there. If you want the STL file to print them yourselves, or if you want the OBJ files to add it to your model like what I did, just go over there and click purchase. And just send me how much you want to, well, buy for it for, or just pay nothing. I don't mind either way. Just do what you want to help support me and my projects. I'm Crazy Casey, and this was a pain in the ass to film. Before I forget, this is the reason why you're gonna want to have VRM poster. If you have like an object on your hands, you're gonna want to shift your model up a bit so you can actually show what you're holding. To use this, I think it's better if you watch Sapphire's video since she's the one who taught me how to use VRM Poser over here, and of course, link in the description on how to use this program. And if you do manage to get this working and you watch her video, tell her Casey sent ya.